So the cost of Ambisa, the cost of Ambisa. Okay. Ambisa, the cost of Ambisa. So this is the cost of Ambisa. This is C, an international service similar to Ambisa. The possible security problem, the fact that most Kenyans do not have a bank account. So the revolutionized banking countries, if people are excluded from the formal. Okay, this is a an international service similar to Ambisa. Safaricom. Okay, the project is being watched closely by mobile operators around the world as the way. So, Western Union MoneyGram. So this is international service tool similar to Ambisa. This is E. Possible security problem. So workers who have paid in cash and they do not have bank accounts, there are concerns about security. Concerns about security. Okay, but Safaricom this if someone was stolen and been prevents unauthorized withdrawals and then sending cash to the rim. Okay, this is a possible. This is the okay. Safaricom is the mobile phone company in Kenya. Safaricom is the so Safaricom Vodafone. This is Ambisa, biggest mobile operator, biggest mobile operator in Kenya. Kenya's biggest mobile operator. Okay, so an Ambisa and account needs to be credited by an Ambisa account needs to be credited by. Companies are particularly interested in using Ambisa, okay, credited by. Companies like MoneyGram and Western Union have the international money transfer market. So MoneyGram and Western Union have the international money transfer market, international calendar transfer market. Okay, have companies like MoneyGram, Western Union, celebrities being watched closely by mobile operators and international cash transfer. This is long dominated by companies such as Western Union and MoneyGram. So long dominated, have long dominated the international money. So companies are particularly interested in Ambisa, the companies that allow people to borrow, repay money, make purchases. Okay, companies like which salary like to workers want something that have really done in interest of large employees such as tea companies. So tea companies and Ambisa An M-Visa needs to be credited by. M-Visa account needs to be credited by. Who credits your account? M-Visa account. So credited by. M-Visa, there is no need how this says I'm to send money you hand over cash to register agent who credits your virtual account. So a registered agent. Start agent. So most Kenyans work in urban areas, have relatives in rural areas. So far, most of people using M-Visa have used to small amounts of money, have used it to send small amounts of money. So they then send between 100 shillings, 35 shillings, okay. We text message to the desired recipient. This is through M-Visa. So we send small amounts of money. This is true. M-Visa can only be used by people using one phone network. Even someone on different mobile network, can only be used by people using one phone network. This is false. This can be used to buy products and services. So GSM Association is a consumer organization. So such as Western Union, MoneyGram. Okay. The GSM Association, which represents more than 700 mobile operator worldwide. So GSM, which represents more than 700 mobile operator consumer organization. No, this is false. MBC can be used by products and services. This will allow people to borrow and repay money and make purchases. So in time. Okay. So purchases. Okay. Safaricom says Visa will allow people. So Safaricom says it's not much competing with the financial services companies. Spinning invoice in time. M-Visa will allow people to borrow and repay money and make purchases. So M-Visa can be used to buy products and services. Can be used. Will allow. So this is in future. This is false. False, not given. False. False. Okay. Most Kenyans working in urban areas have relatives in rural areas. Most Kenyans work in urban areas have relatives in rural areas. So this is bad information here. Service much in demand among urban Kenyans supporting relatives. Urban Kenyans supporting relatives in rural areas. So, most Kenyans work in urban areas, have relatives in rural areas. Okay. So, country where more than 80, apart from transferring cash, a service much in demand among urban Kenyans, supporting urban Kenyans supporting relatives in rural areas. Customers of the Supreme. Okay, so urban Kenyans supporting relatives in rural areas. Most Kenyans, there is no number about Kenyans working in urban areas having relatives. So most, this is false, 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 not given, not given, not given. Okay. So this is which paragraph does each one of the following headings best fit? Okay, okay. Let's go to part three. GS, GSBF, 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 GSBF. GSPF lamps provide light 100,000 page, very expensive to install, powered by the sun. GSF. So GSF, okay, here entirely by the sun. So let's take this here. That all change the installation flow cause energy efficient lamps that are powered entirely by the sun. The lights were installed by the German GSPF, so powered entirely by the sun. The lamps are powered by the sun. More than half of India's population uses more than half of India's population uses uh, as cooking fuel, so cooking fire. Okay. So GSBF lamps are too expensive for most people in rural areas, urban areas, in all areas. GSBF uses less efficient after the solar energy lies the lamp of recharge LED lighting like cell phones is another. GSF are too expensive for most people in rural areas. So here after solutions like is another example of technology whose low cost called low allow rural poor to live into the 21st century, so rural areas. The GSBF lamps are not reliable as electricity from the required schedule only provide 4 hours of light a day. So 4 hours light a day, GSF lamps are not reliable as an electricity national grid that require skill to use. Okay, let's see. So 4 hours a day. So this is GSF lamps. So this is the lamps by the GSF have enough power by just 4 hours. GSF have enough power to power by just 4 hours. We only provide 4 hours of light a day. 4 hours of light a day. Okay. So this one is only provide 4 hours a day. More than half of India population. India population. India population, half of India population uses as okay, India, India, as cooking fuel. So cooking, it came from second hand sunset. And then So, okay. Let's go here. Another example of cheap technology helping poor people in the countryside is poor people in the countryside. Okay, so this is poor people in the countryside is another example of cheap technology. So, cheap technology, low cost, would allow the rural example. So, cell phones, okay, after 50 solar energy LED lightning like cell phones is example. So like cell phones. So cell phones, kerosene lamps and conventional bulbs gives off less GSPF, kerosene and conventional bulbs. Kerosene and conventional. Okay, this is the number 112,000, 112,000, 112,000. Okay, so here 112,000. So it is unlikely that the Indian government. Okay, so this is from here biomass cooking via. Okay, so million tons of biomass per year for cooking. Biomass per year. So biomass as a cooking fuel. Okay. Kerosene lamps and conventional bulbs gives off. So okay, 1,000. Okay, so this one here is 1012. It is unlikely Indian government. So the Indian government, it is unlikely the Indian government will achieve. So it will not achieve. The Indian government in April launched an ambitious project to bring electricity to 100 rural villages in the next decade. However, the remote locations of the village will make reaching this goal difficult. So it is unlikely that the Indian government will achieve its aim of connecting to collective because many villages are because however the remote location of villages will make it so the remote location of villages so many villages are remote. Oh, okay. GSPF lamp would be cheaper if it were in cheaper GSPF costs nearly half the price of others solar lighting. Okay, if it weren't for users need to wipe from the lid in order to keep it working well. Keep it working well. Okay. So gam budget have. Okay, gam budget have. So monthly ration of curries were insufficient. So man gam budget have. Gamba Jabhat, with village without electricity would come out inside his home. Janvan, three children used to study in the town, smoking kerosene lamp when the monthly fuel motor for liters dried up. So kerosene was insufficient. Okay, rational, so insufficient. This is true. Okay. Kerosene causes many fires in homes in developing countries. So the fires. Okay, Chadha. Okay, this one, Chadha. Chadha. Okay, has so far founded the GSF LAM project funded. Has funded the GSF LAM project himself. Okay, so Shadha. Okay, let's Shadha. 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 Okay. So the founder of Angia currently imports his lace from China. He wants to support our manufacturing, support our manufacturing area manufacturing because of his lace could be blunt as they will not incur heavy import duties. We need to close by 5 million for use. He says Mitchadha says he has also asked the government to exempt the lamps from such diseases, but no avail. Okay, the Iranian who made his money in plastics, Shadha has poured his own money into the project. Okay, so born his okay, so he providing and the nation installment free of charge. So Mr. Shada so far funded the GSM project himself. Okay, so this is true. Microcredit, 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 microcredit would help. Microcredit would help. Microcredit would help to get more people to use the okay okay microcredit, 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 microcredit. Microcredit. Okay, microcredit would help to get more people to use lead microcredit. Yeah, microcredit, microcredit. Okay, okay. Kerosene causes many fire in homes in developing countries. Kerosene, 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 kerosene. Okay, many fires in developing countries. Many fires in developing countries. Okay, so here the result that okay, let's see here. Okay, it's dangerous. The fuel is dangerous, dirty, and despite being decided, consumer barely cent of typical Indian household budget is entered by the intermediate technology group. Indoor ball in pollution from such lightning media result. Lightning. So indoor air pollution, such lightning image, such that 1.6 million deaths worldwide every year. So, worldwide and developing countries causes many fires. This is death. So, this is not given, not given. Okay, let systems could solve the world energy problems to solve the world energy problems. Uh, lead systems. This is not about lead system. This lead lamps. Okay, about 200 useful than the kerosene. Useful conventional. Okay, this is kerosene and conventional. Kerosene and conventional bulb. Conventional bulb. So it's something kerosene lamps and conventional bulbs gives off less than GSP. GSP gives less off. So DSF, using kerosene, and recent report intermediate just LED lamps, or more specifically white LEDs, are to produce 200 times more, 200 times more useful light than less than this is okay, useful light than kerosene lamps and 50 times the amount of useful light of the conventional. So conventional and kerosene, this is more, this is less. Okay, useful light. Gas lamps would be cheaper if it weren't for, would be cheaper. Users need to wipe from the lid in order to keep it work. The lid to keep it work. To wipe, wipe. And light, wipe. Okay, on the lid. Okay, lid. Require for less maintenance. Longer life as villagers jogging in no electricity bill provided by the GSF. Okay, power provide. Okay, that is the people our done light in the villagers are officials make the most of new lamps. An official instructs Jed and his family to clean the lamp regularly. Its luminosity and life will diminish if you let the dust settle on. To wipe from the lid in order to keep it work well, so will diminish if you let the dust settle on it. He warns them. So it wipe dust. GSPF. Okay, let system could solve the world energy problems. Micro credit would help to get more people to use LEDs. Okay, microcredit, energy shortages, energy, energy problems in the world. Energy problem. Words, energy problem. Okay, words, energy problem. So let's take this. Let's system could solve the let's system. Let's system. Okay, let's systems are revolutionizing rural lighting, but this isn't a magic solution to the world energy problem. So let's systems could solve the world energy system. Let's systems isn't a magic solution. Isn't. So this is false. Isn't a magic solution to the world energy problems. Isn't. Could solve no. So this is false. Microcredit would help to get more people to use the LEDs. Micro, microcredit. Okay, okay. Let's go to this part. Okay, so here, which paragraph does each of the following headings best fit? Don't wait. Okay, more. Why wait? Okay, why wait? Mm, okay, so this is mostly don't wait. Okay, this is B. Team up. Seems as join a club, use public transport. It may seem as if car never have been cheaper. So this is about cars that it is expensive. Insurance, maintenance breakdowns, again fuel costs running the car, and this is about how it's expensive. Take the cost of public transport. So this is public transport example. Annual travel card. So this is by use public transport. This is E. Telegraph the clubs. So this is clubs and bars advisory. Still city with go. Okay, this is join a club. Join a club. Members and buy them electronic smart car. Okay. And turn to some spot and design it parking place. So this is join a club. Join a club. Join a club. This is a car sharing. This is a team up. Okay. Regular from companies. Other people snacks. And the more you reduce your car use, however, you gain access to it, the more you will save. So this is team up. Okay. This is G. Our corresponding letters, okay, the government has decided nowadays cars in Britain, fuel costs using public transport, fuel and public transport. Using public transport will save money for British motorists. Except in London, when renting a car part of the time can save money. Renting a car part of the time can save money. Cost Londoners up to 1,700 a year. Okay, so public transport, okay, most expensive annual travel card allowing travel in any zone costs just over 1,700. But this is not for Londoners. For example, in London, the most expensive city, most expensive annual for just 1 year, allowing travel in any zone other than that cost 1,700. You could give up your car, say, 1,000 pounds. In fact, you are insuring most expensive travel card in London. You can buy a cheap car from a company such as Easy for 30 weeks a year and still be better off. Overall, if you own vehicle, effective. So it is it is cost Londoners. No, this is not London. We save money for British motorists except in London. And renting a car part of the time can save money. This one. Okay, fuel cost. Fuel cost. I saw it. Fuel cost. It was here. Something here. Fuel cost. This is was about renting a car, and this is was about fuel costs. So fuel costs are truly variable, make up about 20 of the cost of running car are related to the amount drivers pay for their cars, depend on how far you drive. So this is a fuel cost. Where the beverage of there is an assurance, maintenance, tax, and brake insurance. All of which will cost loads of them and will cost you proudly the same amount. However, how many miles you do, only fuel costs are truly variable, while petrol prices are the most visible indicator of the cost of running car. Okay, depending on how far you drive, are related to the amount drivers pay for their cars, make up about 20 percentage of the most running a car. Okay, so for the typical driver, they account for less than of the one fifth, less than one fifth. So make up about 20 percentage of the cost of running car. One fifth. So 20 percentage, the real cost each year. Make up about of the cost of a running car. In another words, leaving aside of practical physical barriers, giving up your car in financial terms, doing so makes sense for many people. So make up about money percentage in the cost of the car. Okay, nowadays cars in Britain are so cars and Britain, cars and Britain, cars and Britain, cars and Britain. McCarthy, 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 McCarthy. Where is McCarthy? Okay, McCarthy. Britain, Britain, Britain and cars, Britain and cars, Britain and cars. Okay, this is UK. Okay, so cars in Britain are not as cheap as in the past, relatively expensive to operate, often sold second-hand. Okay, so here, take the cost of public transport, for example, in London, the expensive city in the UK, the most expensive annual travel card allowing travel in any zone, any time. Really often sold second-hand. Cars in Britain, cars in Britain, cars in Britain, okay, are not as cheap in the past. So there were something about uh, expenses. Okay, this is about large each year problem, the finance packages, the price of a new car, maintenance, insurance. Okay, so this is 500. Okay, so may seem have never been cheaper. So cars in Britain. So it have mean cars have never been cheaper. After all, it's possible to buy a brand new car less than. If you are interested, there are plenty of decent vehicles you can buy straight from the store. Of course, if you buy second hand, the price will be even lower. Price second hand, often sold second hand. If you buy second hand, the prices will be even lower. So no, 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 not this one. However, the falling purchase prices of cars makes the effect that it has never been more expensive. So the falling purchase price of cars makes the fact that it has never been more expensive to own and run a vehicle. No, it has never been more expensive. So it is expensive. So it's not cheap, not as cheap as in the past. Okay, no, relatively expensive to operate, often sold, often if you buy second hand, the price will be so no relatively expensive to operate. Okay, the government has decided to follow Boris's suggestion, become more democratic to go ahead with charging drivers more to use roads. Charging drivers more to, okay, government, something about government. Okay, government attempts to improve democratic process, so to become more democratic, they may have signed an online petition against through the pricing, but ministers are determined to push ahead with plans to make it more expensive. So they have signed an online petition against the more rude pricing, but ministers are determined to push ahead with plans to make it more expensive to drive. So this is to go ahead with charging drivers more to use roads. Okay. Write the corresponding letters. Write the corresponding letters and answer. Write 18 to 22. Okay, so five of the following, according to text, five of the following statements are true. Okay, so five. So Mr. Carthy claims people can become addicted to using cars. So Mr. Carthy here. Okay, don't wait. You may enjoy the convenience of your car. The truth, you owning a car makes financial sense. You would be far better off giving up and relying on other forms of transport. I have been never owned a car despite having a job that requires me to travel all over the Saudi visit clients. Says Miss Garda, environmental expert who specializes in advising people how to be greener. The financial commitment as well being a addiction as well as being a psychological addiction. So this guy claims people can become addicted to using cars. A car is a huge financial commitment as well as being a psychological addiction. So cars is claim can become addicted to using cars. Yes, this one. The cost of using a car rose by over 10% last year. Most British people borrow money to help buy cars to help. Okay, this one. Many people needs cars. Many people need car to drive in London occasionally. Okay. So. Okay, for people who are prepared to do without a car but may still need to drive occasionally. So this is in London, in the UK. Uh, this is it was not giving about the car. Okay, not carrying necessarily a most effective option for people who are prepared to do without a car but may still need to drive occasionally. So many people needs cars to drive in London occasionally. Streetcar operates in over 20 cities in Britain. A streetcar. So there is something about streetcar, 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 streetcar. 20 town and cities must left at specific places. So and return small spot. Okay, so from here. Here. He's got a streetcar once a bit growing twice a week. So 20. So in operates in over 20 cities in Britain. Now operate in 20 of Britain towns and cities. So this is no streetcar cars must be left at specific places. So and return it to the same spot or to different designated parking place. So streetcar must be left at specific locations. Okay. Car sharing is becoming more popular. Car sharing, there were about car sharing. Car sharing is becoming more popular with people who live near, who live and work near each other. So car sharing is becoming more popular with people who live and work near each other. So work sharing about who live near to each other and work in the same place to contact each other so they can share the journey to work. Okay, so car sharing is becoming more popular with people who live and work. Car sharing is becoming more popular, is an increasingly popular option for people making the same journey regularly from work. For example, many companies help colleagues who live near to each other with contact each other that have shared their journey. Okay, so this one. So government wants to encourage people to go work on foot. So this is five. Okay. Okay. So here we guess okay, okay. This is five. The government has decided nowadays fuel costs using public transport. Okay, this is 12. 12. There is two answers here. G GPS. Okay. Micro credit would help to get more people to use LED. Okay, micro credit. Okay, micro credit. Cooking besides the clean resource, the Indian, what it was it would be cheaper if it weren't for, would be cheaper if it weren't for GSPF. Okay, GSPF, GSPF, GSPF would be cheaper if it weren't for. Okay, weren't for, it would be cheaper and microcredit. Microcredit. Okay, so. Michael would help if he had access. It would be afford. Okay, so okay, that can be the rural markets would be able to afford it. The rural markets would be able to afford it. Low lead, okay. Harvin, if they had access to microcredit would help to get more people to use the lead. So this is true. Okay. And GSPF would be cheaper if it weren't for, would be cheaper. So as we see now, the price of the solar lighting distance, China, and the solar panel manufacturing, include heavy important duties. Was his head lead lamp could be meant as they will not incur heavy import duties. Okay, next one. The lamps Jericho buy home uh, nearly half the price of other solar lighting systems. The founder of Nigeria currently imports his lead from China. He wants to set up an lead manufacturing unit and solar panel manufacturing unit in India with manufactured local. The cost of his lead to $22. They will not incur heavy. They will not if it weren't for heavy import duties. So it would be cheaper if it weren't for it would be cheaper if it weren't for heavy import duties. Okay, this is okay, okay. BG D 1 2 3 4. Okay, DCEA biggest registered agent T long dominated. So this is okay. So all this is three words, no more than three words. Safaricom is the biggest mobile registered by credited by a registered agent T companies. Okay, have long dominated the international money transfer market. Okay, so okay. Don't wait. BGFE. Okay. This five true. The government has decided. Okay. So, okay. No, only three words. No more than three words. Cell. Okay. Cell phones. Useful light. Than give less useful light than. Okay. Cell phones is cell phones. Okay. The many villages are remote. It will heavy import duties. Heavy import duties. It rewards wipe dust from the lid in order to keep it working well. Okay, so this. Okay, submit. 8 by 8.5. Okay, 8.5. So there is two mistakes. Two mistakes. Two mistakes. There is two mistakes. Okay, so this is two mistakes. 26. 26 is C. 26 part 2. 26. 26 is C. So, using public transport costs Londoners up to 1,700 a year. Okay, because it was annual. Okay, it was annual. Explain. So, public transport, using public transport will save money. Okay, so using public transport, so except will save money for Britain, except in London, renting a car part of the time can save money. Cost London is about 100. So the public is in London, in London. Expensive annual travel card allowing travel in any zone at any time costs over just 1,700 okay to spend occasion car hire to spend and renting a car part of the time can save money. You can say 1,000 to spend an occasional car hire. In fact, it means the expensive topic I could hire a cheap company. So, can spend in fact, assuming that you have the most expensive travel card in London, you can hire a cheap car from companies such as about 30 weeks a year. Okay. So still, household cost London is about, and this one 18 to 25, 18 to 25. So this A, B, C, F, G. So it's not the, there is nothing, this is B, B. D. Many people you need car to drive in London occasionally. The cost of using a car rose by over 10% last year. Okay, this one. So 8.5, 8.5. Okay, this was, I guess, okay, remote useful light, cell phones. Okay. Whew.